welcome and I applaud you for this minor investment, but this big opportunity that you've made to be able to understand how to use social media correctly for selling. Now let's just jump into this. The first training helped us see that smartphones and social media are completely responsible for shifting how we are getting answers to our questions, how we are buying products, and that includes insurance. And the number one thing that the top insurance producers are doing now is that they're leveraging these tools. They are implementing a social selling system or a social media sales strategy that's going to allow them to find and engage with their ideal clients. That brings us to number two, reality check number two. What do we want to talk about in this training? Using social media, tech-savvy agents are ethically, and I always have to emphasize that, it's ethical, okay? Don't be mad. It's ethical that they're stealing your clients and your prospects from right under your nose. Remember this John Maxwell quote? The problem for most people who want to be successful is that they misunderstand success. Two things are required: the right picture of success and the right principles for getting there. And we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what is the right picture, or as I call it, the right map for success. Okay? Einstein, let's see what he has to say about this. He says you can't use an old map to explore a new world. We have to abandon some of our preconceived notions on how we've been selling. We need to say, I'm not going to throw the whole thing out, right? But I need to be open to understand that there's a new map and there's a new way of doing things. Now, I think the best way for me to do this is to juxtapose the two together. Let's talk about the old map and how it worked and what's failing, and then I want to introduce you to this new map. All right, here's the old map. Traditional marketing via social platforms. Really, I call it the pray and spray method, but that doesn't seem so elegant. So we're going to call it traditional marketing via social platforms. Okay, what it is effectively create brand awareness, lots of quantity, get as much brand awareness as possible, roll the dice for a little bit of luck, and hopefully we'll have some success. My metaphor here is this picture of my son. My son's the one in the blue shirt shooting the shotgun with his buddies. Okay, they're shooting a shotgun, right? You know, a shotgun shell's got all these little BBs in it, and it sprays out and it hits the pigeon, right? They're throwing these little clay pigeons out there and they're shooting them. So what does the recipe for success, or the treasure map, what does it look like with this old map? Okay, 3 steps. Number 1, content is king. We must understand in this metaphor or this framework, posting on the web and social platforms for top of mind awareness is your primary goal. What you want to do is establish these sites, be able to throw content out there, and then you're going to, as it says in number 2, connect with prospects, clients, friends, and acquaintances. Anyone you can connect with to be able to increase the reach of this. So you're sharing this content. It could be content from your carrier. When I worked with the carriers, we built these big databases full of content so you could just easily get it and share it. It didn't take you much time. Was it effective? That's a whole nother question, but easy content to find. News clippings, industry articles. You might share news from your personal business or your personal life. The goal was be visible in this space, get a lot of attention, make the most noise, right? Who's going to yell the loudest? Connect with your people, and then from that you're going to have opportunities, and you're going to ask your online connections on a regular basis for their business. Okay, that's effectively the strategy. Does it work? Again, it's like the shotgun approach, right? Some of these BBs are going to hit the target, a lot of them are going to miss. What are the downfalls of this? The main downfall of it is it's okay at the agency level, especially if you're an agency that can afford to hire a full-time or even a part-time social media marketing person. But as a producer, you're just too busy. So the problem is it takes a lot of time. You got to find all this content, right? You got to shoot, you got to use a lot of ammo. You got to put stuff up all the time. It's not very efficient, right? A lot of your BBs are never going to hit their target. It requires some tech savviness. It requires practice. And I would say some have a gift for it. Like for me, I will admit, I haven't shot a shotgun very much. Last time I shot, I was about 1 for 20. Like I stink. Like if the world's going to end, you don't want me on your side. I'm not going to do you any good. But my son, he's like 3 for 4 out of 5. 3 or 4 out of 5. He's pretty good at it. He's got a knack for it. And you're going to find this. There are some producers that just have a knack for this map. They're like, oh, they got a knack for using social media and getting connected and getting visibility. And it feels like a gift. Now, some of it is a process that they've really engineered, or they've fine-tuned. But the truth is this map is not very effective for the majority of sales producers. And what we found is there's a better way. You can throw this map away, okay? Don't even worry about it. The new map. What is the new map? This is what I'm really excited to share with you. This is some of the stuff that I've been working with people on a coaching level, but I haven't been able to share this at large. And I'm so excited to share this. Now I say that, I'm excited because I need you to buy into this a little bit, as far as I need you to listen to me. I need you to go with me for a few minutes until the vision kind of opens up in your brain. Because when I first share this, you might think, Brad, I don't know. Here's what we're talking about. The metaphor is serve your people. The metaphor is, can you identify who your ideal clients are, help them by providing what we call 0 moments of truth, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, scale that process. That's what equals success in 2021. Here's the rules. Here's the recipe, right? I showed you the recipe for the old map. Here's the recipe for the new map. Use the web and social media to help your ideal clients progress along their buyer's journey. Now I'll explain that. Many of you know buyer's journey, but I'll explain this more in a minute. Second, engage with them. Don't advertise at them. Don't use traditional marketing on a social media platform. Use it as a conversation platform. Use it to build trust and communicate with people, not just throw crap at them. And then finally, you can massively scale your leads generation activity using social media. And that's where we get into the whole headline of this reality check number 2, which is how to steal the prospects and the clients from your competitors. So let's talk about this first one, using the web and social media to help your ideal clients progress along their buyer's journey. Okay, what is this concept of a moment of truth? You familiar with this, the moment of truth? So in life, there's a stimulus, something happens, you realize, oh man, I got a problem. And then I gotta go solve it, right? And we talked about how we're going to the web now more than ever to get answers to our questions. Along this path of solving a problem, we have what we call moments of truth. There are these moments, these epiphanies that help us. The marketing department and sales department kind of has a little different definitions for them. I want to explain both. In marketing, a moment of truth is a moment in which a prospect or customer forms an impression of you or your brand or product. And this impression may be either positive or negative. So we want positive moments of truth. In sales, it's a moment that helps a buyer progress along their buyer's journey. So it's like 5 steps, like between I have the problem to I need to figure out to solve the problem. There are these moments, these steps. Now you might be familiar with the concept of moments of truth. That may not be new to you. You may not know that a few years ago, Google published a book called Winning the ZMOT, or How to Win the 0 Moment of Truth. And what they explained was there's actually a new step in this process, and it's called going to the web. Okay, back when this was published, I want to say it was like 2011, it was more about how to make your web page look good. But since then, social media has really taken front and center. And the question is how, through search, reviews, videos, and people just asking their friends on social media, right, through the networks, how do we help people have positive moments of truth that help move them down the buyer's journey? That's what this whole game is about. So if you kind of look at it like this, what does a traditional buyer's journey look like? Okay, someone has a problem. They're like, oh, I got a problem. I got to go figure this out. And so what do? They go on the web and they're looking at marketing material and things like that. And then it's going to move them down this process or up these steps in this example. And as they move forward, there are these different questions they get answers, these different moments of truth. And eventually they're going to meet you. You're going to be able to sit down with them and really solve some problems for them and move them forward. That's what the traditional buyer's journey has looked like. Now with Google's metaphor of the 0 moment of truth, there's one more step. Right now, before we go to these traditional things, there's this new step. It's we go to the web, right? We get on our computers, we get on our phones, we're checking this stuff out. We're getting answers to our questions, and it upsets the traditional path for how we move down the buyer's journey. What I mean by that is we can see right here, the MOT, these are the moments of truth. The moments of truth might not come in the order that we as a seller would really want them to, we're like, hey, we want to move you in this path. But they have all kinds of different questions, right? We're dynamic humans and we have these questions. And so we move through and we get a lot of these answers, maybe not in the exact order, but eventually we are still going to meet you. And so the question becomes, what is your role in this? How can you, as the guru, as the one who understands this, who's waiting for them to come to you in the first meeting, how can you take your knowledge in your brain and give it to them earlier in the buyer's journey? How can you move some of the stuff onto the web so as they're going out to get their questions answered, they can actually bump shoulders with you? That's really what this entire map is about. So number one is we want to use the web and social media to be able to educate and help your potential clients along their buyer's journey. Now some of you might be saying, whoa, hold on, Brett, you're telling me that I need to share my best insights on the web? You're telling me that the stuff that I normally, when I meet with you, I sit down, I lay out, this is my process and this is what we're gonna do. I should start sharing that freely on the web so anyone can see it, so the clients can read that information, still go somewhere else, so other agents can actually steal from me and take that stuff? Yes or no? Should I share that stuff? Well, let's talk about what happens if you don't. Here's the situation. for the producers who share content on the web that's going to specifically connect with their ideal clients, help them move down the buyer's journey. They are going to be able to not just give them answers, but you can see this here as my little gray ghosts are. You're going to be able to create what we call an absent presence in their life. You're going to be able to connect with them. And the key is, when you're doing this, you do it in such a way that you're not just sharing information, you're sharing it in such a way that it naturally binds them to you as the person that can help solve their problems. So you're asking yourself, should I share my best stuff on the web? The answer is yes, but you're not going to share everything. But the things that you are going to share, you're going to share it in such a way that you align yourself as a guide to help them move along their process. Okay, if you're a fan of Joseph Campbell and the Hero of a Thousand Faces and all that kind of work, you'll understand that we've got this hero's journey in our life, right? I'm the protagonist in my life, and you come along as a guide. You're Yoda and I'm Luke Skywalker. I want to use the Force, but you're going to show me some things because you've already been there. And that's your role. You're not the superhero, you're the helper. And your job is to be able to create content on the web that's going to serve as Yoda to guide Luke Skywalker down the road to where he needs to go. As a producer, when we learn how to share our best insights relative to the specific moments of truth that a buyer is looking at that leads them up to meeting with you, we can do that in such a way that aligns us as a trusted guide for them. It's going to help them not just get the answers they need, but see us as the most capable person to help answer that. And that becomes the heart of this strategy. Number 2, we want to engage with people and not advertise at them. Remember this quote from the last training video from Hootsuite? We're moving away from trusting institutions, vanity metrics, mega influencers, celebrities, and we're moving towards smaller spheres of influence. You're going to have the opportunity to connect with people. And the question is, are you going to advertise to them or are you going to build a relationship with them? I just want to share with you one very specific example so you can see what I'm talking about. So what I have for you here is a screenshot of a connection request I received from someone on LinkedIn. You can see his name is Doug. He says, Brett, I'm looking to connect with persons and organizations that will benefit from digital marketing efficacy. For almost 30 years, I've increased value and ROI while maintaining budgets. And I'm okay that he has a typo in there because we all have fat fingers when it comes to the phones and stuff. But he says, audit strategies coaching with a deep experience in Asia, much success. So he sends me this request. He wants to connect with me. First off, I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't have any connection with Asia, but he's in marketing, I'm in marketing. He says 30 years. Okay. So I don't respond to him by text message. I just say okay and I connect with him. Then he sends me a follow-up message. And as you can see it, I don't even know if I want to read it all, but it's this long message. Thank you for the contact, or thank you for the connection. I would like to better introduce myself. And he goes blah, 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 blah. Okay. What's my response to that? I just read an ad. Someone is selling themselves in the form of an ad. Do I care? Right? No, I'm not going to meet with you. Okay. Who thinks this is going to work? The old map people think this is going to work. This does not work. Traditional marketing on a social network is dumb. It does not make sense. Let me give you an example of what I would do instead. It's a screenshot of a conversation that I had with someone that I wanted to connect with. His name is David. He's actually a mentalist. He's amazing. He's this very fascinating guy. I met him at a workshop once, and when I quit my job to start doing this, I realized, man, I've got to get a little bit better at the art of securing speaking gigs. And I saw something he had posted. He was creating a new show, and I thought, you know what, here's a guy who's already done what I want to do. So let me connect with him and see if I can deepen that relationship and learn some things. So what you'll see here is I connect with him on LinkedIn. I said, I hope to connect and watch your new show. So I referenced his recent post that I knew was in the forefront of his mind. He created, because of COVID, he created this new online show. So I referenced it. I'm looking forward to your new show. Been a long while since we were at that Bob Cialdini training so many years ago, and just realized we were not connected in LinkedIn. Probably should have said on LinkedIn. Okay, what are you seeing here? I'm reaching out to him in a conversational manner. He responds, wow, that was a while ago. I still use that material every day. Thanks for connecting. Great to have you in my network. You can check out my new LinkedIn live show here. And he has over a quick watch over coffee. It goes live every Wednesday. He's from the UK, I think Ireland. And he has the link. Now already there's a dialogue going, right? Did that other guy get any response out of me? None. He knows nothing. I've created a simple conversation-based request to connect with someone who I really don't know that well. I literally spent a couple days with him like 7 years ago, and I realized he could probably be important to me in what I'm trying to do. So I reached out to him like I would if I picked up the phone, not as if I created a marketing ad and I threw it out on the web. Now, I wanted to respond to him. The truth is, I usually like to sit down and have time to really think about my responses. And I didn't have time, but I wanted to show I'd seen it. So I gave him a thumbs up. And then my plan was to sit down and articulate a little bit more of a response. But I didn't have to, because then he responded, "How are things?" Do you see how effective that is? This is what you do as a salesperson every day. You meet people, you build relationships with them, and then you serve them. Using social media is a new form of a telephone. It's not an advertising platform. I mean, it is, but you don't want to use it as that, right? So this is just to kind of show you a little bit of what we get into as we go deeper into this space. You can use social media to do what you already know how to do, which is to grow your relationships with people. Okay, and then finally, the third thing is, how do you massively scale your leads generation activity using social media? This is really the core, secret or reality check that we have to share with you, is that you can ethically steal your clients' prospects from right under their nose. And the question becomes, well, how do they do that? So let me explain this. LinkedIn. Think about LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn? If you ask your mother, what's LinkedIn? You ask your friend, what's LinkedIn? You say it's a social network, it's a place to put your resume online. They're gonna have all these different answers, right? You go there for news. Here's what I wanna give you as a kind of a different definition for LinkedIn. I wanna say that LinkedIn is a database. Literally, it's a computer database that's chock full of stuff, right? We access it from the web and we use it, but what it really is just a database that is full of information. It's got a list of people's names. It has the information they put up there about themselves. It records all of the people's conversations with each other, and it's a map of how they're all connected with each other. If you want, you can actually use tools to dig into this data and leverage this information for your gain. And it's free. I mean, you can pay for the upgraded LinkedIn Navigator solution, and for some of you, it's a great idea. I wouldn't just go do it until don't go drive a Ferrari till you know how to drive an actual car. But the thing is there are free search, query, filters, all these things that you can do. The truth is, you can search this database from your web and from your phone. You can go in and you can search for stuff. And I'd love to show you how to search through this database so you can connect the people out there with the resources you have, broker that, put it together, and use social media to, I don't want to say massively, but drastically reshape the growth of your business. So what are tech-savvy producers doing? Well, they're using social media just like this. They're looking and they're digging through it, and they're stealing your contact. If I don't know how on LinkedIn, I'm making visible all of my connections, and everyone can see those. So if I'm your competitor, all I have to do is go connect with you, and I can see who all your clients are. I remember working with some middle market people a few years ago at a large carrier, and they're like, there's no way I connect with any of my clients on LinkedIn because I don't need literally the guys right there and there trying to steal them from me. Well, the truth is, you can of course hide all that stuff. The thing is you can do this effectively in the right way when you know how, so people can't access that information, but most people don't. And so the power that you have is you can utilize this information to find out who else, and it's not just other competitors. It's, maybe it's a referral partner, maybe it's industry leaders. There are all these amazing people out there who have all these amazing networks, and we can connect with them and we can dig through that and we can get that information, and we can now use conversational tactics instead of marketing tactics to connect with them and help you do what's been done to you in an ethical manner. I gotta add that in there. All right, so what have we learned in this training today? Primarily, you need to get the right map. The one to find leads online and engage them using social media, because that's where they are. They're in that zero moment of truth space. You're gonna connect with them. You're gonna not market at them, right? You're not using social media with traditional marketing methodologies. You're gonna use the sales process you already know to identify, engage, build trust, help them progress along their buyer's journey. And when you do that effectively, you're gonna be able to crush it. You're going to be able to grow your book of business, and you're going to be able to grow it with the specific clients that you're hoping to find. You don't just have to wait for someone to walk in the door. You're going to isolate who they are and identify who they are and specifically grow your business the way you want to. You know, I've been working in this space for years. I've traveled the nation, worked with hundreds of thousands of insurance producers, and what I discovered was most of the training out there is really about marketing. And it's this old map. It's not this new map. And so what I'm here to say is that when I quit my job, I started a consulting business and started meeting with agents and producers, agencies and producers, to help them do that. Then COVID hit, and COVID kind of locked us all down. But I think it was a blessing, because as a result of this, we took all this training and we turned it into a 3-week producer development program. So it's an online program where you go and watch the training, and there are workbooks and there are tools and there are resources, and we meet on a live regular basis to be able to answer your questions via Zoom and Facebook Live. It's this really cool experience to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I don't want to go all into this right now and try to sell it to you. This might not be for you. Some of you guys, by the time we're done with tomorrow's training, which really outlines exactly how the system works, and I really explain really what we get into is the 80-20 of social selling, like what is it you need to do. Some of you can just run off and do it on your own. Others are going to say, you know what, Brett, it would be kind of helpful for me. I would love to shorten the learning curve, and this system might be for you. But the main thing, again, is I'm not trying to sell it to you right now. I just want you to understand, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if you're thinking, you know, Brett, this is a lot. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I can integrate all this stuff. I want you to trust in me and know that there is a way to do it. It's a 3-week program. Within 3 weeks, you can go from, man, I don't even know how to do this, to, man, I know the exact specific things day in, day out. But when you're done with this program, you actually have a weekly planning schedule portion of it that shows you exactly how to spend your time every week. So whether you're spending 30 minutes a week or an hour a week or 2-hour weeks, you can set that up, custom design it, as I say, tailor suit it, or make it tailor made to fit your unique selling process. All right, so don't be overwhelmed. Be excited that you're on a path to be able to figure out how this stuff works, and know in the next training video, we're gonna outline some really cool stuff, right? Remember, the reality check is producers that leverage the 80-20 rule of social selling consistently grow their book using the least amount of effort. I am all about being lazy. What is the least amount of effort that you need to do to get the biggest return? I am not going to, through this program, teach you how to be a social media expert. I'm going to show you, as a sales producer, how to leverage some very powerful social media tactics that are going to get you a bigger return and not take up all your time, so you can do all those other important things. And that doesn't exclude your golf game. So in part 3, we're going to show you what the 80-20 rule of social selling is. And though some of you might say, Brett, these young kids, they got this all figured out. How do I compete with them? I've put a special section in there on how the experienced sales producer can outperform millennial producers using social media. Even if you've never really used social media before, you're going to understand how you can wipe the table with them. It's really powerful. Now, if you're a millennial watching this, you might be saying, Brett, you know, that's kind of mean. What you'll see is the discrepancies that you naturally have, so you'll know how to offset them. So it kind of doesn't matter which side of the table you're on. With this training, you're going to see what you need to do to move forward. And again, I'll then tell you a little bit more about the system. You can see how it works, and you'll then be able to decide how you want to move forward in growing your book. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video training.